3rd grade. She was just coming to our school. I always noticed her, walking a little weird. I thought she was being funny. But I never, I didn't think much of it. It was just one of those things, people do. But until I learned about condition, and I learned that she had no choice.
We went to the doctor when she was 10, and the doctor said she would probably just grow right out of it. And so we waited, and nothing changed. Her steps just started getting bigger and weirder, and things around the house weren't the same. She no longer could pour me a cup of coffee, I'll tell you what. And then we just had to keep an eye on her outside in the open. When we brought her in the public, people would stare, and you don't want that for your girl. You don't want that.
At the time, I really thought that it wasn't outside the norm, too outside the norm. You see this sort of behavior in preteens. It's not that unusual, but it actually not only continued through puberty, it started getting worse. So the movements were more broad. She was mimicking other walks that she might see somewhere, and it doesn't seem to be affected. It's actually, she feels it's normal behavior.
I don't think it's really that big of a problem because, sometimes I will knock stuff down, but, we pick it back up and then we move on. I think other people need to really understand this is me, and, I can't change myself, so I think people just need to accept it, that this is how I am.
So we ran some tests, did a scan of her brain, didn't really see anything, but some blood work that we did revealed a high level of a certain antigen that controls your movement. So we took a closer look at that and actually identified that she has a condition known as Novus Ambulatory Syndrome. We call it NAS. And it controls how a person walks. It controls their gait. And this high level of this antigen in Lucy causes her to exhibit these big movements in her gait. It doesn't have a long-term damaging effect on Lucy herself, although for the people around her, it can be a little bit difficult at times because of the movements are large and unexpected, and she's not aware of how it impacts those around her.
So, we have a lot of fun together. It's great hanging out with Lucy, but sometimes it's, it can be difficult. Just, the little things. Hey, Luz, can you grab my water for me?
Yeah, sure. Here you go.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
So we could only go out for about a half hour. So we'd see movies in increments. We'd go for the first half hour, have to leave because she'd kick the seat in front of her. But then we'd go back for another half hour. It got difficult, so we started renting DVDs.
So for treatment, really it's that we are limited. It's the things that you would do to lower stress levels. So sleeping good hours, some alone time, is good. And there are a couple of foods that help. High levels, but a large amount of pineapple we have found helps. There's a natural sedative in pineapple. So her parents have tried that. And it seems to help, but it's pretty limited in its effectiveness. She might, settle down for half an hour or so, but then we're back up to the same.
I feel that if she's going to have this the rest of her life, she shouldn't have to hide it.
We are exploring other avenues. It's relatively rare, so the scientific documentation on it is pretty limited. But we're working at it and fully confident that Lucy's going to be able to conquer this.